Hello, you lovely people. My name is Cheyennedingesss, and welcome to Tea Time Talks, where every Tuesday we come together, sip on something good, and we talk about those real, everyday things that you and I are going through in our day-to-day lives. Go on, say it with me, to achieve our most healthiest, happiest, most successful selves. So, if this sounds like something that you're interested in and you want to be a part of the conversations we have every Tuesday, go ahead and go ahead and subscribe, and we will be here for you every single Tuesday. All right, y'all. For the ones that have been here every single Tuesday, y'all know what time it is. It's Tea Time Talk. So every Tuesday we talk about what's in our cup. What is in your cup right now? If you haven't gotten your drink already, y'all know the drill. Go ahead and go pour yourself something up right now. Doesn't need to be fancy, just makes your heart happy. Go ahead and get to it. Now, for the people that have already gotten their drinks poured and they are sitting and they are comfortable and they are ready to listen in, let's talk about it. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't drinking tea this week. Y'all, I love tea, I really do. But lately, with it being the holiday season, I've really been into my hot chocolate lately. Like, oh my gosh. So, I got a roasted hazelnut Stevens hot cocoa. And I talked to you guys about that in my last, I think it was like 3 episodes ago. Stevens hot cocoa is chef's kiss. It's so good. And I got the roasted hazelnut flavor this time. Now, I needed a little bit of caffeine, you know? So I ended up adding some just regular drip coffee to it, kind of like what I did last episode. And it does not disappoint. It does not disappoint. It's so good. So, I already told y'all what I'm drinking. Now it's time for you to tell me what you're drinking. I started nagging a little bit in the last video about how you guys do not tell me what you're drinking. I want to know. Some people ended up messaging me afterwards and they told me what they were drinking, and I appreciate that because it gives me ideas. I always want to branch out and figure out new drink ideas. You can always find new ideas, and what's the best way to figure them out than through each other? Through word of mouth. Okay, so go ahead and drop down below what you are drinking today. Tell me your favorite drink, okay? What is your favorite drink at the moment, right here, right now? Comment it down below. All right, so now that we know what we're drinking, it is time to catch up. I haven't talked to you guys in a week, okay? Since last Tuesday. Every Tuesday we got something to catch up on. So how are you doing? And you know the drill. When I ask you this, I genuinely want you to think right here, right now, how are you doing? What is going on in your noggin right now? I'm going to be completely just straightforward with you guys right now. We are literally days away from Christmas, and I don't know, it's starting to kick my butt a little bit, you know, just emotions wise. For everybody that watched my holiday grief video, I'll go ahead and put the link right here. You guys already know the drill, you know. The holiday season can be kind of tough for me, and I'm sure it is for a lot of you guys as well. You know, and we find our ways to cope and make the best out of the holiday season, but we still have our days where it's just like, it kind of just hits us and it's like, wow, this is, you know, kind of upsetting, you know? And so, I guess with it being this week, what falls on Saturday, I think Christmas does, it's just been kind of making me feel a little bit sad, I'm not gonna lie. But this is why we journal. You know, I've journaled about it and I feel better about it, you know, and I move past it and make the best out of my day. And so that is what I want you to do now. Whatever it is that is on your mind right now, whether it be good, bad, or just random, I want you to get your journals out. I want you to get a pen or a pencil out and write it all down in one piece of paper. That's all you gotta do, just write it all out. everything that you are feeling, everything that is just fluttering through those minds, I want you to put it onto the paper so we can declutter and just kind of release it from our bodies. That's the whole point. So go ahead and do that for me. And after, I challenge you for this week's Fast 5 to go ahead and give me 5 things that you love about yourself. So for example, I love how positive I am. I love how caring I am. I love how strong I am. And I love how spiritual I am. Okay? Those are some examples that we can put in. I want you to start it off by saying, I love, and then go on with it. We can be so caught up in being so negative about ourselves and about the things that we want to fix about ourselves that we don't even acknowledge the things that we admire about ourselves. That is the entire point of today's Fast 5. I want you to find those things that you admire about yourself. Those things that you are just so flipping proud about yourself. Okay? So that's our Fast 5. Go ahead and do it, and then we'll get into the rest of the video. All right, you guys. So we have done our journal, we've caught up, we figured out what we're drinking, and we did our Fast 5. So now it's time to get into the video. Before I get into today's topic, as I normally do, I would like to state that I am not a professional at anything that I am talking about. I am simply just a 23-year-old young adult trying to just voice my thoughts, my opinions, and my perspectives on a lot of these things that we're mutually going through, just to try to help each other out, you know? So now that that's cleared up, let's get into today's topic. So, as you guys see in the description, today we are talking about self-love, which we all need, okay? Self-love. What is it? Okay, before I even go further, I want to make sure that we're not confusing self-love with self-care, okay? Self-care is what we hear a lot about on social media, which is, you know, the whole, you know, like skincare routines, just taking care of like our skin, our hair, taking care of our body's health, you know, like just kind of like the physical aspect of loving yourself is self-care. At least that's what it is in my eyes. And we hear about it all the time on social media, which I think is great, okay? Self-care is just as important as self-love. But I feel like we don't really hear much self-love. And that is why I want to make that today's topic. Now, self-love. Self-love is being kind to yourself. It means loving yourself no matter what mistakes or things we just don't like about ourselves at the moment, or just anything, you know, like self-love is what it's called, loving yourself. I can't really even think of any other way to explain it. Loving yourself no matter what negative thoughts you have about yourself. Now, easier said than done, right? I know. It's such a tricky road to achieve self-love, and I don't feel like we ever just officially say, oh, right there, I love myself. You know what I mean? Like, it's a process. It really is. And especially with us being in our early 20s right now, like I've mentioned before, we're just trying to figure ourselves out. We still have so much to learn about ourselves, or at least I do. And oftentimes we can just get caught up just being kind of just confused and not happy with ourselves. But we need to learn how to flip that around and learn how to fix whatever it is that needs to be fixed about ourselves, but still love ourselves in the process. Does that make sense? Let's just go ahead and get into a couple of the things that have came to my mind when we talk about self-love. The first thing that came to my mind is setting boundaries. Setting boundaries, I feel, plays a huge part in self-love because you are putting a line somewhere at a point where you will no longer tolerate whatever bad behavior is being done towards you. I think that is such an important, but sometimes hard step to get into in our journey of self-love. When I talk about boundaries, like, it doesn't only have to play part in like your love life. This can be played part in all of our relationships, whether it mean love life, friendships, family, you know, like it goes always. And I think it's a very important skill to start to learn to master. For me, it was one of the easiest things to master because I had a conversation with myself one day and I just told myself, the behavior that is being done towards me right now is so unfair and it has taken a toll on my mental so bad to where I am just constantly trying to figure out what I'm doing, what am I doing wrong, and in reality, I'm not doing anything wrong. It's just I am in a situation where I'm tolerating this negative behavior on me and it's taking over me and it's just ruining my happiness. And so I had to put a boundary right there, and I have been great ever since, needless to say. I know it's easier said than done to place boundaries in our relationships in life, you know, like it's way easier said than done. Sometimes we can get into this thought process like, oh, you know, I can help this person change this attitude towards me. You know, I can help them see where they're doing wrong. I don't need to just cut them off and just, you know, like I can fix this. But the harsh reality of it that I had to learn, you cannot change people to treat you how you want to be treated unless they want to change. You can't change somebody unless they want to change. One of the hardest life lessons I ever learned. And that plays a part in a lot of our lives. So that wraps me into just learning to place the boundaries to where you're not getting hurt anymore, to where you're not allowing anybody to have a certain power over you to treat you however they want you to. You need to love yourself enough to learn how to put that boundary there and say, no, I am not dealing with this anymore. This is not fair to me. And if I keep on allowing this to happen, then that means that I am not loving myself as strongly as I should, because I am not acknowledging how badly this is taking over my mental. Right? And so like I said, that would be the first thing that I would challenge you to do, is just setting those boundaries. Now, this next one that I'm about to talk about is strictly between you and you only. Okay, this is probably my toughest thing when it comes to my own self-love. Being my toughest critic. Being your toughest critic, this has probably been the hardest thing for me to just relax on, okay? For the longest, whenever I would make a silly mistake, whenever I didn't reach a goal that I wanted to, or just I wasn't being who I dreamt of myself being, I would just go off on myself, okay? Like, oh, like, I just suck. Like, I just can't get myself together. I'm so stupid. Like, oh my gosh. And just like, you know, putting all these negative words into myself. I didn't realize how bad that took a toll on me. You are supposed to be your number one cheerleader. For me to just be coming in and saying all these hurtful words about myself because I made a stupid mistake, or, you know, I just, like I said, didn't reach a goal that I wanted to, was so unfair to myself. I get it, you know, like we get into this mindset like, you know, oh, I need to be hard on myself so that I can keep on going. I can keep on pushing myself to get higher up, you know, wherever my goals are, so that I'm not just like, you know, letting things slide or whatever. But you have got to replace those negative words towards yourself and replace them for words of encouragement for yourself. So let's say like I made a stupid mistake at my audition, okay? Y'all know I'm an actress, okay? Mistakes are inevitable in all parts of life, but especially when it comes to auditions, okay? I'm just gonna say it. So, quick little story time. I had an audition actually not too long ago. It was an at-home audition, as a lot of the auditions are now. They're all self-tapes at home because of COVID. And I had to do it over Zoom. And I was on this Zoom call around a lot of people that were very important people, okay? Just gonna leave it at that. And when you're doing self-tapes, they're pretty like precise on what they want you to do. Like, you know, they'll tell you that they want the camera framing from like chest up, specifics like that, okay? I did my audition on my phone, and when I got into the Zoom call, they, for some reason, well, I know the reason now, but in the moment I was just like, okay. In the moment, my camera was vertical. It's supposed to be horizontal, okay? Big no-no, okay? So when I'm doing this audition, right, I get onto the Zoom call, all these big names are here, I'm introducing myself. They ask me, hey, so right now your camera is vertical. We really need it to be horizontal for this audition. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I've never had that happen before. And so I'm going around trying to figure out how to fix it on my phone. Time's going, you know, like time is money. They have plenty of auditions that they have to get to like for the day. So I'm trying to make sure that I do not look goofy. I can't figure out for the life of me why this camera is vertical and not horizontal, okay? So I end up telling them, I'm like, you know, sorry, unfortunately I can't figure out, you know, how to fix this. And they're like, oh, it's okay, we'll make it work. I get off the audition. I come to realize the reason why my phone was vertical and not horizontal is because I had my lock screen on. You know how you can like lock your screen so that when you have it sideways, it won't go sideways and stuff like that? Yeah, that was the reason why my camera was not going horizontal, even though I had my phone physically horizontal. So I figured that out after the audition. I am so upset with myself. This was a big audition, okay? Mistakes like this just aren't a good look. And I am just like going in on myself in my head. I'm not saying this out loud, but in my head I'm just like, oh, it's such a stupid mistake. Gosh, this sucks. Like, you know, just beating myself up. Now, this isn't helping me in my situation, okay? I'm already feeling like upset about it as is. How is me having these thoughts towards myself going to make the situation any better? It's not. So I had to sit down for a second, self-reflect on my thoughts, my feelings, all of that. And I decided to replace all of those negative feelings and thoughts towards myself and put them into words of encouragement, okay? So instead of saying, oh, this is such a stupid mistake, I was telling myself, okay, now I know for next time that this is what I do if this situation happens again. If my phone is going vertical on the Zoom call and not horizontal, 9 times out of 10 it's because I have the lock screen on. It's okay. You know, it's okay. You still nailed your audition. You did great with your audition. You listened to the critiques that they gave you and you gave it your all, and that's okay. Now we're just on to the next one. When I twisted those words and put them into positive words of encouragement towards myself, it helped me so much. I could have spent the rest of my day just beating myself up and feeling like crap. But I didn't, because I chose to self-reflect and figure out how to be helpful for myself, okay, and love myself. Mistakes are gonna happen in whatever we're doing in our lives. The last thing that you need to be doing is beating yourself up over it. You need to acknowledge the mistake, learn from the mistake, and turn those negative words into words of encouragement towards yourself. You need to be your number one cheerleader. So, second step to self-love, I would definitely say, hold off on being your worst critic. Learn to love yourself through all those trials of mistakes and moments where you're not where you want to be in life, both like, you know, in your career or just, you know, yourself, yourself mentally, yourself emotionally. You can't add on to that by filling your mind up with all this negativity. Okay, so this brings me into the next important thing when it comes to self-love that I think a very important thing in self-love is doing things that you love. Doing things that make you happy. So let's say you're like chilling at home, right? You look in your pantry, there's no food. You're like, okay, I gotta go to the store and get some groceries. But this time, I'm not gonna just get any old groceries. I am going to get my favorite meal of all time. When I say this, I mean, I want you to cook it, okay? Not go to like a restaurant and buy it from them. No, I want you to go to the store and pick out all of the ingredients that you need to make this amazing meal that is your all-time favorite, okay? So for instance, one of my favorites just so happens to be lasagna. Barely like ever cook it because it's not the cheapest to put together. However, I love lasagna and it's always been one of my like super comfort foods. So in my situation, I would be getting ingredients for lasagna. Now, I could so easily just go to one of the Italian restaurants up the street from me and buy it from them. But we do not want to do that in this situation. We want to go to the store and pick out all the ingredients that we need so that we can prepare it ourselves. The reason being is, one, we can give ourselves the satisfaction of getting our butts up, maybe when we really didn't feel like doing it, coming back home and preparing it ourselves, and just getting that satisfaction of just saying, wow, I put together my all-time favorite meal all by myself and it came out delicious. Like absolutely mouthwatering. I've done this before and it's one of the best feelings, hands down. It's way better than just going and getting it from an Italian restaurant because I made it myself and I worked for it. I made it happen all on my own. And it's more rewarding that way. Now, another thing is maybe you have been in a funk, okay? You've been in this funk. You haven't showered for what, maybe like 3 days. This is a very real thing. I'm not like joking at all. Like this is a very real thing. Some of us can go 3 to 4 days without showering just because of how low we're feeling or just how unmotivated we're feeling. So push yourself to get up and go prepare yourself just an amazing, relaxing bath. Put on your music that soothes your soul. Put on a candle. Put in some bubbles, and just make it something relaxing and soothing for your heart, okay? Believe me, I know this is all easier said than done, I'm not saying this ignorantly, just thinking, oh yeah, just go ahead and get up. I get it. Funks are hard. But this ties into the self-love topic. You choosing to get up and go prepare this yummy food and going and preparing this relaxing, heart-soothing bath, those are actions of self-love towards ourselves. I guess it can kind of tie into self-care as well, but the things that it does for you mentally is like on a whole nother level. Let's say you've been in just like an upset mood and you haven't cleaned your house all week. I've had that before too. I'm here to be completely real with you guys. I've had that before too. I've had days where I would look at those dishes just piling up and I did not feel like doing a dang thing because I would get so, I would get so low, But what I would do is I would get a speaker and I would play like one of my favorite gospel songs and I would just start singing, and if I needed to cry, I would cry, I would just let those emotions come out, but I would make sure that I'm getting those dishes up, I'm cleaning, because I want my home to feel comfy and comforting, and I wanted my soul to feel that way as well. Happy and comforting. And so I would do that, and it would help me so much. And like I said, I know it's easier said than done, but things like that help. Those are things that are self-love that often may not look like it's self-love. Maybe it seems like it's more so of a chore, but it really just helps to open up that satisfaction. Like, okay, I took a shower, I prepared my favorite meal all by myself, I cleaned my house, it smells amazing, it looks amazing. I feel satisfied, I feel great, I feel like I have done so many things, acts of love for myself today, and for that I can sit back and relax and just feel at ease. Now, before I wrap up my video today, the most important self-love of all, in my opinion, praying. Okay? I've made this very well known. I am a very spiritual person. Praying is probably one of the best forms of self-love that I have mastered in my life. Every day, I make sure that I devote time, just me and God, and we are just talking about everything. Anything that is on my mind right now that I just need to release onto Him, I do that. And oh my goodness, it helps me so much. Casting all of my fears, all of my wants, everything, just putting it onto God and just having that comfort of just knowing that He is listening to me and He is going to make a way for me. There is a plan that He has put in store for me, and I trust that plan, and I plan to keep on pursuing that plan with His guidance and His strength. And so making sure that I pray every single day has become such a huge help in my journey to self-love. And I really challenge you to try it and just see where it takes you. Growing up, like I obviously, I believed in God and trusted in God, but I did not have the close relationship and bond that I have with God today when I was growing up. It took me time to learn that, and honestly, Tyler has helped me so much in building that relationship with God. It's a beautiful thing to see. It's a process, and it takes a lot of learning and just a lot of praying and just talking to Him. And it's been the best form of self-love for myself. So that is our tea time talks for today, okay? Self-love. Obviously, that's not all of the forms of self-love. Those are just the top ones that I feel have been most important and relevant in my life. And if there's any other forms of self-love that you can think of that I didn't mention, please go ahead and drop them down below, okay? Remember, we build off of each other's ideas. It's not just me talking and voicing my thoughts, my perspectives. I want you to bring forth yours too, and let's just build up together. Let's build up our thoughts together and help each other out and just be that positive voice for each other. That is the entire point of Tea Time Talks. Now I'm really aware it got a little bit emotional, okay, but self-love is a very deep topic, and it's always going to be relevant in our lives, and it's just super important to learn to master, especially at the stages of life that we are in right now. Still trying to get everything figured out and just be our best selves. And so with that being said, thank you so much for continuing to be here with me every Tuesday. I love having you guys here, and I love putting together these talks for us to go through and just really help each other out. And also, I realized a couple of episodes before I mentioned the giveaway is still happening. The giveaway is still happening. It's just I'm still trying to give everything together that I'm going to be giving away to you guys. And so I don't really want to promote it a lot yet until I actually have the things that I'm giving away to you guys, because I want to be able to show you them, so you guys can see what you could potentially win. Seriously, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for continuing to be here with me every Tuesday. And if you haven't already, go ahead and like and go ahead and subscribe for me so that you can join in on our talks. And last but not least, I hope you guys have a very happy holiday season, okay? Like I said in the beginning, I know the holiday season is really rough for a lot of us, but we got this. We're gonna continue to move and grow and make the absolute best out of this time of year, not only for ourselves, but for those around us. We got this. I am rooting for you as always, and thank you guys so much again for being here. I will see you guys next Tuesday for our episode of Tea Time Talks. Happy holidays, guys.